Welcome back to the channel. Today we are at an unusual location. We're at a different salvage yard. So I'm down the street at Dario Auto and Truck. They have a 2014 Charger. So what I need off of this is some of the driver's side suspension components. I was gonna get more, but I think I'm gonna end up using the aluminum arms that came off the Magnum subframe, but they have this arm right here I need, and they have this one right here I need. So I was also gonna get the strut, but for now I'm just gonna use the Magnum one, order a Bilstein replacement strut for the driver's side, and we can get by with the Magnum strut. So let's get this one arm that I need pulled off of here. So we got what we needed. Got both arms. Now we could go pay for them and then get the rear suspension on the driver's side all sorted, the wheel back on, and it actually rolling back on the ground. Magnum is now back on the ground. It needs to settle. The suspension looks all weird, and there is some stuff missing from the front, so it is a little bit higher. The back sits pretty nice. It could be a little bit lower, but it may get lower as the suspension settles when I actually drive it. After looking at those aluminum arms, I ended up putting them on both sides. So I dropped the subframe down, flipped those bolts like I said I was gonna do. Everything fit perfect. Now if I ever want to put adjustable arms on the rear, I don't have to drop the subframe. So that is a plus. One thing I'm gonna have to modify, this is, if you're gonna use the fuel tank, I don't know if a Charger is different, but if you're going to use the fuel tank out of the Challenger, the neck is gonna stick out like that. Remove the Challenger fuel filler neck from the Magnum. I test fit it. It was a little bit too long. It stuck out too far. So what I'm gonna do, I'm going to section this, probably right around here, take out 1 inch on both of these, and then just use a rubber piece of hose with some worm clamps. This will allow me to shorten it. I'm also gonna have to cut this piece off right here. The piece of the rubber fascia that goes around the neck to locate it in the hole needs to slide all the way down to this. As you can see on the Magnum one, it doesn't have that, and it looks like they're close to the same depth where the little vent comes out. So I think we'll be all right still using the Challenger vent and filler, but we just need to make it a little bit shorter. So I brought my Sawzall. The fuel filler neck is now good to go, so it's in the stock location. Door closes like stock. All the brake lines, everything on the back of the subframe, the fuel lines, all that stuff is now buttoned up. I was trying to put the exhaust up by myself. It wasn't working out very well. So what I think I need to do is get a helper to help me put the exhaust up. Also, I need to remove the bumper. Then I can trim the bumper to fit the tips. I did remove the tips so I could try to put the exhaust up, but it just wasn't working out. So now the car is 100% rolling. All the suspension is good to go. I do need a SCAT pack Bilstein shock, but other than that, everything else in the back is okay. Well, other than there's an e-brake cable I also need on this side, but now it's rolling. So that's really, really nice. It has a sway bar connected. Everything's connected. Now that I have all the suspension and the fuel filler neck finished, I'm gonna work on cleaning the inside of the car, pull the rear carpet out, pull the rear seat out. I'll shampoo the rear carpet, shampoo the rear seat, get those nice and clean, get that center console out, get the whole floor and everything cleaned up. One thing I did decide to do, I wasn't planning on doing it, but then after looking at that Charger at the other yard, noticing that the carpets are exactly the same as the Challenger, and these Magnum brackets are very, very different. I'm going to use a spot weld cutter, get both these brackets removed, the front and the rear, and the driver's side is the exact same. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go cut the ones out of the Challenger with the spot weld cutters. They should just slide right in because everything is exactly the same, just the brackets are different. Slide them in, weld them in, plug weld them in, and put some paint on them. Then I could just mount the seat directly to the bracket instead of actually doing that weird thing. This seat will probably be a little bit taller if I did use the Magnum bracket with the seat. So I think that's a better option. All of this looks the same, so I don't think I'll run into any issues doing it that way. Ran into a little snag with the Magnum. It's not that big of a deal, but like I said on the passenger side, I'm gonna have to remove the spot welds out of the Challenger rails, weld them into the Magnum. I'm gonna have to do the same thing with the driver's side. The reason being, the seat actually bolts to the stock Magnum rails, or the the floor pan rails, but those rails are 1.5 inches to 2 inches taller, and there's no way my knees would fit between the seat and the steering wheel. This seat is all the way max low. So what I'm gonna do, drill the spot welds out of the Challenger ones, weld them into the Magnum, and we'll be good to go. The seats will bolt in. The carpet will also fit extremely well, and then all the ducting will fit really well. So this is a better option instead of using the stock Magnum seats. I think since these seats are a little bit nicer, this one doesn't have the airbag blown, but I could have that fixed. And those seats, just the bolstering and everything. The car's gonna have 500 horsepower, so something to hold you in a little bit better will be kind of nice. Another thing, I need to pull the dash out. So when I'm welding, sparks and stuff don't fly on the dash and get any of the electronics or anything messed up because, you know, the sparks will burn the screens and all that stuff. So I think pulling the dash, I need to riv nut some nuts over on the passenger side so a module can bolt over there. There's no actual holes. I could use sheet metal screws or self tappers, but riv nuts will be a really clean install. I need to do the same thing to the back so I can mount the center console. I'm not sure if the Charger one bolts in the same as the Magnum one because I don't have one, but the Challenger one just has like a 2-prong thing that just bolts down. So I need to put that in to the trans tunnel so it all mounts up. Magnum is actually getting done pretty quick. I'm really glad that it actually rolls. This wheel, I was really happy to get it on. Now the car rolls. I mean, soon the interior will be in. And tomorrow I'm going up to Denver. There's a guy parting out a Charger. He has the brake lines. So I'm gonna go up there, pull the brake lines. Then I can get the whole front end on this thing, as well as he may have the rear carpet. So then if I get the rear carpet from him, I can clean it up and then I'll have a rear carpet. I'm gonna use the SCAT pack front seats, but I'm also gonna use the rear seats as well because I'm pretty sure, almost 100% sure that they'll bolt into this. The only thing I needed was the rear carpet from a Charger. So the interior will be really nice. Another thing that I'm kind of looking for is maybe a 4-door wiring harness, just because the car that I'm using all the parts from is a Challenger. It's 2-door, and I think wiring everything in so it works is gonna be kind of a pain. So I don't know. So we'll see what I decide to do. I may just end up butchering the 2-door harness, or I may end up just finding a 4-door harness and just laying it in, because that's pretty much what will happen. And plus I'll have to extend the 2-door harness because this car's 4 inches longer than the 2-door. So a 4-door harness would be a lot better. But I'm gonna end the video here. Really pumped that the Magnum's come this far. I mean, it has the engine, the tranny in it, the whole rear end, the whole drivetrain pretty much except the drive shaft. It rolls, it looks really good. I mean, this thing, literally, I mean, those wheels fit this car so nice. They just fill those fender wells up, and I just, the stock wheels were just so hideous compared to these wheels. And now this car almost has the whole Challenger, you know, dash and everything in it. It'll have most of the electronics. It's gonna have navigation. It's gonna have all the stereo stuff. I can hook my phone up to it with Bluetooth. I mean, it's just gonna be like the Hellcat driving around. Really nice, really quiet, has 500 horsepower. It's gonna be cool. So if you like these videos, make sure to click the subscribe button, throw a comment below, give the video a thumbs up, share this video with your friends if you liked it, and as always, see you guys tomorrow.